This podcast is made by dirty, stupid goblins and their equally horrible guests. They don't believe anything they're saying, and neither should you. It's definitely not for kids, unless their parents are hilariously irresponsible or unbelievably rad, like high on peyote, jumping the dirt bike over the creek, kind of awesome. You know what I'm talking about.
All the freaks by the side of the road, they all say they don't like what they see. All the freaks by the side of the road, they all sit there just staring at me. All the people on the other side, they all stay there just waiting to slide. All the freaks by the side of the road, they all smile at me.
It's so good.
So good.
It's so good.
If we wouldn't get like a digital media rights DMR takedown, then we would totally play it on the show. But that would definitely be like a copyright infringement.
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost afraid to say this, but anytime.
Oh, beans. Thanks for. Okay, let's start that one again. That was awful. Just right out of the gate. Hi, welcome to Why Don't We Have Our Own Show, the show that answers its own damn question. I am your host, Scott, and I am managing my diabetes.
I am your also host, aspiring bog witch, who is not managing her ADHD at all.
Fantastic.
I am not a host, and I am still waiting for the answer to that question.
What?
Why don't we have our own show?
Why don't we have our own show? Oh, yeah.
Well, someone was foolish enough to actually give it to us.
Yeah. And
said, hey, why don't you do a podcast? And we were like, okay.
Yeah, and that foolish person would be Tom Norton
Tom,
at WKTV, who
I'm sorry, Tom,
we're
throwing you under the
we're
bus.
chucking you right under the bus. We were sitting at the diner right across from the recording booth here, and he said, "Hey, you've got a great voice for radio." And
are you sure he didn't say you have a great face for radio?
Oh, I think we've already made that joke, haven't we?
Yeah, we've already made that joke.
Well, good. Well, you'll cut it out of there and then just send it to me so I can use it over and over again.
Use it as your ringtone. As your ringtone.
It's my ringtone.
Like, just specify it just for Scott.
Scott's ugly.
Face for
Scott's
radio.
ugly.
Face for radio.
Scott's ugly.
Scott.
Scott looks like a rental potato. Like when your potato gets into an accident, and so you need a new potato because you got to get to work, but like your potato's going to be in the shop, so you go to the Avis, rent a potato. That's me.
Dude,
I'm the Avis rent a
just
potato.
described my every Tuesday morning. It's freakish, man. How'd you know?
I look like the rock that you throw back into the water.
No, that rock's not good. You know, we have to find another rock.
I have to say, we are. I think I can speak for both of us. We are the least prepared that we have ever been for this podcast,
and that's saying something because we don't prepare. Like, we do minimal preparation for every podcast. We are the worst.
I think.
But what does that say that I'm the guest and I don't even know what we're going to talk about today? So I think I'm the least
Well,
prepared.
I mean, you
Yeah,
really
I've got the
shouldn't have to be
questions.
all that prepared because you're the guest. We're the hosts. We should actually do preparation beforehand.
I mean, my minimal preparation is being awake, and I almost failed that today.
At the very least, you know, we look up things. We decide on stuff we're going to talk about. Sometimes run it by each other. This time, Scott looked at me. He's like, "What are we going to talk about today?" I'm like, "I don't know,
I have
dude.
no clue. We
No
do not
clue
know.
because we didn't, scout out anything beforehand or,
I mean, I've done minimal preparation. So last week Monday we were on the Magic Hour with Michael McCallum, hosted by Michael McCallum, and that was a radio show that he does in Lansing, and it's got and then they do an internet broadcast at the same time so that we can our language is a little more relaxed, and he foolishly allowed us to do some sort of like, why don't we have our own show style, like really topical,
that was
really
a
edgy
mistake.
comedy. That was a foolish mistake.
That was a really
his
bad mistake in
You
everyone's
think he's
part.
you think he's still regretting it? Like
Probably.
right now, he's probably thinking about
probably
it
is.
as
No,
we
he's
speak. Well, why did I do that?
just rage masturbating into a sock, just angrily tossing one.
Why take it out on the sock though? That's the thing, man. It's like look what the two of you did to that
You
sock.
don't know what that sock did, though.
That sock has seen some shit, boy. That sock has seen some stuff.
He's taped both of your faces to that sock.
No,
That's what he's done.
Oh God. Okay, so that's going to lead us into our first. So
That
one of the
elegant
things
transition is
that
going to lead
elegant
us.
Speaking of masturbatory,
slow-moving segue that's just rambling into traffic on a green light. One of the things that we do on this show is we look up answers from the Yahoo movie and entertainment answers, because we're still waiting for people to email us at blueheavenpictures@gmail.com
Please
with
send
questions.
us your emails.
We would love to answer your questions.
Let us know how you want to be referred to, your pronouns, all that other good stuff. Well, we will go ahead and answer your questions. No question is
If
too
I
stupid.
email you a question right now, will you answer?
Yeah.
Yes.
Damn it! I wanted to do that.
Well,
so
you
badly.
ding dong,
know
get
it.
it. Get your phone out.
Dang it.
Okay, so
Get your shit together, Todd.
Get your shit. You are the least prepared. So what we did is we did a Yahoo answer entertainment, movie, and news question on his show, and I'm fairly certain it's what's going to get him fired, because it was. It's from nobody. I don't even know. Maybe just my phone doesn't put
Let's see
the
it.
put the
Hold on.
names on it. It doesn't say like a name on it.
No, it doesn't have a
It
name
doesn't have
on
a
it.
name on it.
There's no user, so it's
It's not
just
user.
user anon.
No, User Anonymous asks, some men in sex movies are emitted large quantity of the semen, reach 200 milliliter. What he do?
It's just as funny.
Okay. Is this podcast going to pay for my therapy? Because it's not. At least my copay, because this is
What's your
starring.
copay? Is it
You're
20?
you're on your own, my dude.
Oh man, No, I wish.
What
it was
he do?
20,
What he
but-
do? Eat her drang?
What do you do? Eat or drang, Todd?
What does he drang?
What does he drang, Todd?
Todd, what does he drang? What he do?
What
What he do?
What he do?
Does he do push-ups?
Well, I mean, I was saying, like, we were talking as we were coming into the studio, like, I think that the person who can, like, invent a pill or some sort of a drink or an injection or whatever that gives your emissions flavors would be, that person
It
would
would
be
be
an
ideal.
overnight billionaire.
It would be ideal.
Like vanilla or tapioca or chocolate.
Well, yeah,
or
but see,
strawberry.
then the problem you have there is then men would no longer go to women for much of anything sexually,
Or
because
other
now they
men.
could just, they would just,
They would
drink
just-
themselves.
I mean, yeah, they'd frost their own cupcake and
They'd
then
start taking yoga and frosting their own cupcake.
Damn it! I want some chocolate, but I have no chocolate in the house. Wait,
Wait a minute.
I got this.
so, but
What if it
come
worked
with me.
both ways, though?
So Todd, I'm guessing that you are a man of the sex movies. So what do you do to prep for that?
Yeah, what
what's-
foods do you eat?
What's
How
your
do you
diet and
prep?
exercise regimen for
to
your
make
emissions?
sure that
to make
you
your,
have, to make sure that you have maximum emissions.
Are you
200
actually-
milliliter
Are
or
you
above.
actually? So you're asking
Yeah.
the amount of and possibly flavor of the spunk?
Not
Oh, no, just
necessarily
the-
the flavor, but the amount.
the amount.
Because I do think the question is more like they notice that
men
men in pornos have and
A
they
rather
do.
adequate amount
They have
of.
Yeah.
more than adequate. It's copious.
Well, okay, so
I mean,
you know,
that's not. I'm a connoisseur, and I can say that that's not always the case. If you got like if you got a guy, it's like a 50-50. It's either like hit the wall or it barely makes it
depends
past
on-
the tip.
It depends on the style of porno that you're talking about, though, because there are some where it's like the amount of emissions is the goal.
Well, and I'm quite certain that there sometimes might be a little bit of technology involved, and that may not be
obviously.
completely what we're seeing there. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
little hose run
can
up
you
along the
imagine-
bottom of little Johnny,
Imagine the intern with the
big
fake
squeezy
semen
thing,
syringe.
right? With the syringe, just there we go.
Can
Yeah.
you imagine just sitting there while they're doing that with a syringe full of fake cum and just splort?
This is gonna be okay. This is gonna be the last show. I can guarantee you. This is gonna be the last show. But
I'm so honored to be here for this conversation that I did not prep for.
You're so happy to be the iceberg that our Titanic crashes into.
Oh my God.
So what'd he do? What'd he do, Todd?
What'd he do? I don't know. I'm going to say lots of protein powder. I think I don't know, protein.
I mean-
not swallowed.
Hydration,
I
too.
think jammed in.
Oh, like just sort of injected in.
Inject, yeah, and then just add water, and then
Sure.
that might
Yeah,
be
and
about
then
the
you-
consistency.
and then you just
it's like a
go.
paste.
Or it's sort of like the old breech loader like rifles where you have
Right.
to sort of tamp it down the barrel of the gun.
Tap it down the barrel, then just it's
See, I,
added
think,
to.
I
it.
was,
light
I
the
was thinking
fuse.
you were just like, it would be like an actual exercise regimen and he was just going to get like swole with muscles and with cum.
I had a friend who once told me that the more sit-ups I do, the harder my muscles are going to push. And
Was this somebody who owns like a health club and they were trying to get you to join?
it's somebody that we both know.
Is it? Wait.
No,
Is it
no
my-
names.
Is it my mom?
Damn it.
I knew it. Mom. Because I know my mom won't be listening. God, I hope my mom's not listening to this. Mom, if you're listening to this, you did not raise me wrong. You did just fine.
You did just
I
fine.
know, unfortunately,
shit.
my mom does actually listen to this.
Okay.
She does. She
Was
talks
it
to
Ann's
me-
mom?
She
It
talks
was
to
Ann's
me
mom.
about it all the time. She's like, Ann, I don't know what the things you're talking about. And sometimes I wonder where I went wrong. And I'm like, oh, Mom.
And you know what? Your mom is never going to look at a package of protein powder the same way ever again.
Sorry, Mom.
Or tapioca pudding.
Oh my
Shit, it's my mom's birthday today. Hold on a minute. I do have to call her.
Call her up. And while
I'm
you're
gonna
doing
call-
that, I
I'm
think
gonna
you have a
call
new
her 'cause-
sponsor idea for your show. I think some tapioca
powder.
pudding
Did
Did you
company
get
needs to be
permission
the
to
sponsor.
actually call her? Is she going to
Hell
actually
no.
answer?
She's never gonna. She won't answer, but maybe she will. I don't know. Let's find out.
She already said she didn't want to be on the show.
She already had her lawyers tell me that she would never answer the phone on a Wednesday evening, just in case. But let's just try that. So while we're talking, let's do a little ASMR.
Oh, I hate him.
We're really gonna do some ASMR because we had this great little bit about ASMR.
We do have a bit about ASMR and how much I hate ASMR. It's so fucking creepy.
Hey, Todd, do you listen to ASMR?
It's kind of turning me on right now, guys. I don't know.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Open up the envelope and see if there's rice inside.
Oh, fuck, there's rice inside.
Hi, Ma. Happy birthday.
I'm
Happy birthday.
happy birthday.
That's Todd. That's my friend Todd. Happy birthday.
Oh. Oh, it's Todd. Oh.
no.
No, it's tomorrow.
And the award for worst son goes to.
You just got owned by your mom.
My alarm went off and told me that it was your birthday, Mom.
tomorrow. This
It's
is
the 13th. Is it the 14th? Oh shit. Kelly's coming in here to tell us to keep it down.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Oh, they're doing voiceovers in the other room.
Oh, shit.
But they're still doing ADR. Tom told me they would be done.
Oh, man. Oh, shit.
Sorry, Ma. We're in the middle of
gonna have
recording our podcast, but
sorts
thank
of
you
naughty
so
words.
much for owning me on the air.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Dad.
birthday.
Birthday
early.
tomorrow.
I think she hung up.
So ADR next door is going to have some really colorful language in their movie, whether they want it or
Oh,
not.
my mommy hung up on me. God damn it.
Ma, it's tomorrow.
You're owned,
That's priceless.
owned 2 times by
Wait,
your mom.
I have a new ringtone now. It's going to be his
It's
mom
tomorrow.
owning her.
It's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
Thanks for not knowing.
Thanks for not knowing, idiot.
You stupid idiot. Ricin is a powerful neurotoxin. I think I'm going to die. Carbs.
Anyway, let's talk about this Aladdin trailer, the most recent Aladdin trailer we actually saw.
Okay,
'cause
so I've
this,
really got to catch
this whole
up.
Aladdin movie has been a freaking journey
Just a
from beginning to
roller
end.
coaster. Have you?
Now,
see the new
is this
one?
like the one that just came out?
Yeah, the one that
yesterday
just
or
No,
the
I
day
have not
before?
seen this one because I saw the last one
that was
and
fun.
was so horrified that I just kind of checked out. I forgot that movie was coming out like 30 seconds after I watched that
We
trailer.
raw dogged that.
It gets
that's-
better, but it also gets worse.
It gets weirder.
goodness.
Yeah, where it's just like, okay, like on one hand, I'm a little bit more excited than I was before, and a little bit less Jesus God. But then there's also a factor where it's just like, no.
You know, I've been intrigued by this from the beginning. I mean, okay, Guy Ritchie. I mean, how does a corporation like Disney,
Pick Guy
decide
Ritchie.
on Guy Ritchie
Yeah.
to do their film, which made me very excited because you don't hire Guy Ritchie to make your movie. You hire Guy Ritchie to make his movie.
Yeah.
So I'm intrigued by that. But then the trailer comes out and it just looks horrific. Well, okay, let me
It
back.
looks flat too. It
looks
that
very
first
flat,
trailer
yeah.
looked very flat. It was like you had that one drone shot of the parade, and there were like 6 animals, and the camera didn't move, and they were just slowly meandering down the street, and that was their shot.
Yeah, and they had that really unpleasant shot of the genie that nobody was a fan of.
Yeah, saying the
Right.
most uncharismatic line humanly possible.
But in this new trailer, it looks like they took the internet's notes and
Really quick turnaround.
a real quick turnaround. They actually did some tweaking on some of the genie CGI, so it is not as god awful as it was in that first one,
the
where it's almost
smoke-
like okay.
The smoke cloud still looks like 1996 Twister. So that it doesn't really attach to the lower half of his body real well. So it looks like he was just standing there, and they just kind of like like digitally erased his legs and stuck the smoke underneath it. So it still doesn't work.
Well, and here's the thing that I'm thinking. I'm actually thinking that, depending on what you're wanting from this film, I think this could be a really good sign. Because I think this is a sign that Disney doesn't know how to market this particular film very well. And that might mean that Guy Ritchie has maybe made something really interesting.
But here's
it's certainly going to be very different than the Robin Williams animated,
Oh, sure. I mean, it's very much more like the Broadway musical, the Broadway stage show version.
Yeah.
And we said, like, in the previous time we talked about Aladdin, that, Robin Williams' shoes are very big to fill. I don't expect Will Smith.
You don't want to.
Yeah.
Right.
And I wouldn't want him to try to attempt to be Robin Williams because you can't. He has to be Will Smith.
Right.
So, I mean, those are big shoes to fill, and I don't have any expectations that way. It's just...
the director of Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, as we said in the last episode, doesn't seem like the most profoundly good choice for a film like that, just because it doesn't seem to be the style. And we know from the number of times that other directors have been fired off from Disney films that they don't really want somebody with quote-unquote style. I mean, they got rid of Edgar Wright because he was making a movie that was way too Edgar Wright a film.
Right. Yeah.
They got rid of Patty Jenkins for the same reason. I mean, they dump directors when the director doesn't follow through with the Disney style. So I'm not sure. I mean, there were some energetic shots in Sherlock, but is Sherlock or the Sherlock Holmes films, is that the direction that you want to go with? Again, Aladdin.
Yeah, it intrigues me because I'm wondering what their script is like. So I don't know. It's got me more intrigued than, say, Jon Favreau directing The Lion King,
Although
which
Favreau's
could
Jungle Book was
and
fine.
Jon Favreau is wonderful. Nothing, but I have this fear that it's going to be almost a shot-for-shot remake of the animated film, whereas I have the feeling that this is going to be very far from a shot-for-shot remake of Aladdin, the animated film.
You say that, but in the new trailer, there are indications that it might be.
Oh, Guy.
But I will say, though, they did take notes about the CGI in particular, where the genie doesn't look quite as much as like the Fruit Gushers Blueberry Nightmare that he was before.
He doesn't look like he's halfway between being like eating the gum from the Willy Wonka chocolate factory.
That's what I thought too.
The one thing that I say it is a concern that I am concerned with is the dude who plays Jafar
still sounds like
accounts receivable dude.
Yeah.
He sounds like that guy that you really don't want to get on the phone when you're trying to ask about the store's return policy.
Oh yeah.
He does not sound like he is the
meanest
magical
barista at Starbucks. You do not want to get him and ask like for any half calf mocha latte or anything because he's going to be a real bitch about it.
So, but here's the thing too in terms of segue. Let's segue off that. Come with me on this little road. Todd, you are a huge fan of the Disney World,
Lord.
Correct?
Yes, unabashedly, I am a fan of the Disney World. Not a fan of necessarily all Disney films and all of that stuff, but I am definitely more of a fan than not, but definitely of Disney World in general. And
you've been to Disneyland or just Disney World?
I've been to
Or
Disneyland
both?
as well. I've been to Disney World far more than probably any human being that does not have the name Disney in their name should be. But
you're a man in his mid-40s who goes to Disney World by himself.
by myself.
Sorry, I don't want to laugh like that, but yeah, I'm going to laugh like that.
And this is how pathetic I am. And then I just walk along other families near them to make it seem like I have a family. It's not
suck
sad.
their joy.
It's not sad.
Because I've been there. I've been there twice.
Some sort of
Like I'm-
weird joy succubus.
It is. Yes, I just leech on to other families without their knowledge.
Boy, Dad, that was certainly a fun time.
And then you just kill the dad.
They kill the dad, and then I'm the dad.
You're the dad. You take
are you
over
talking-
for the dad.
Stop looking at me. I've been your father forever. What are you talking
I've
about?
always been your father. What are you talking
You
about?
didn't have a different dad. That was a nightmare, and I want you to stop with this foolishness. Richard. I mean, does it start with an M? Does it start with an M? I'm getting an M. I'm getting
you, whatever
you're
your
doing
name
a
is,
cold
you.
reading on the family to try to figure out their names. I'm seeing a Z for some reason.
Actually, since we have no structure anyway to this, I'm going to segue
Go
off
on.
of your segue because you just made me think of something. I took a trip to Disney World, not by myself,
Okay.
but with friends, okay? And this would have been, I don't know, 20 years ago. And we took an RV,
shit.
and there were 6 of us, and we drove down to Disney World, okay? And we drove straight through down to Orlando, about 16-hour trip. And when we got there, as we're driving, of course, the 6 of us, we're all theater people for the most part. So we're all talking about everything under the sun. And at some point as we got close to Orlando, I posed a theory to the other members of the RV.
Oh, no.
And I said, you know, I
Thought
have this
exercise.
theory that if you say something with a British accent, it's almost impossible for it to be offensive.
Really?
And that met with a little bit of pushback from some of the people we were running with. They said, I don't think that's right. And I said, no, I think it absolutely is. I think if you say stuff with a British accent, it just sounds charming, no matter what it is that you're saying, you know? I don't know, maybe it doesn't sound that way to actually people who, you know, are in Britain, that live there, but to Americans. And they said, I don't think that's true. I said, well, I'd like a chance to prove that. And they said, how so? And I said, I will bet you all $100 that when we get to Disney World, I can walk down the middle of Main Street in Disney World cursing up a storm with a British accent, and no one will look at me in a nasty way or say anything. In fact, I think people will chuckle. And they said, no way. There's no way that will happen. And I said, I'll bet you that will happen.
So you walked off with $600.
I walked off with $600. We got there.
Okay.
I start walking down Main Street. They're all like, 20 or 30 feet behind me just walking. And I'm walking down the middle of Main Street. This is f***ing awesome. Look at this place. Oh, my God. This is the best f***ing place I've ever seen. Oh, where's f***ing Mickey Mouse? Goddamn Mickey Mouse. Where is he? I know he's around here somewhere. Where is he? And my friends are looking around and watching everybody around me. And they're all smiling and laughing. They're not covering their children's ears. Their kids are watching and pointing and laughing and nothing. And then conversely, I said, and I did not test this, but I said, conversely, do the same thing, but this time with a New York, Brooklyn accent. A heavy New York accent.
I mean, I think that you can. I think that you can be. There's got to be something that. I mean, if you were to say,
I feel like this warrants more testing.
yeah,
I mean,
let's all take a trip down to Disney
scientifically
World.
speaking,
Let's
it's
put
a very,
this off
it's-
to our.
it's-
Let's send this out to our listeners.
Let's
Let them test
Yeah.
this.
Is there something like have them send the
No,
them
we
send
shouldn't
us
do
the
that.
most
That's a really
expensive
bad
shit.
idea. No. Because somebody's going to do that, get the crap beaten out of them at Disney World.
and then sue this podcast.
Exactly like the stupid podcast gave me an idea for this.
Or they can
No.
send them to us and see if we can say them in like an Eastender or a Cockney or like an estuary accent or a received pronunciation and vote to see if it's the worst, like if it's truly morally offensive.
The opinions and suggestions made by this podcast are not necessarily
it.
made by this podcast.
They are not.
If you're listening
Don't
to this,
do it. Don't listen to the devil on your shoulder.
It does not
devil.
reflect the attitudes, opinions of WKTV. Gene, our
Gene's
audio
super
engineer.
Oh,
It's
Gene
a bad
left.
idea.
Gene left a while ago.
He
No.
ollied out into
Yeah,
the
I'm
sun.
not-
He loaded himself into a catapult and flung himself across the woods.
Smartest thing he did all day.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that you would raise some eyebrows if you were to say, like, point at one of the Disney characters and goes, "Oh, that Minnie Mouse is a goddamn piece of ass. I'd eat chocolate cake out of her bumhole." I'm sure somebody's going to say something.
But Scott, people don't realize that your actual literal superpower is making anything sound worse than it actually should sound. See, that is your mutant superpower.
And though I think that part of it has to do with the attitude of the place, because my first time in Disney World, I was 13 years old. My sister was 15, and my sister and father got into a screaming fight down Main Street, and nobody batted an eye, nobody blinked. I think that there's some sort of a soporific in the air that they
It's
put
like
in there.
it's the happiest place on earth, and it's so happy that
It's so happy.
It's almost insidious if you think about it.
Well, sure. I mean, they waft popcorn smell through some sort of like speaker system to make you feel like you're always like just being surrounded by warmth and good food. I mean, this is a direct quote. My 15-year-old sister, who was 15 years old at the time, screamed at my father that he was a f***ing asshole, and that my father screamed back just as loudly, and this is a quote, "I wish you'd been aborted."
At Disney World?
At
Yeah.
Disney World
At
on
the-
Main
Walt
Street,
Disney World.
USA.
I think
Disney
Mickey and
World.
Minnie should have come and pummeled your father.
I'm fairly certain that, yeah, if Gaston had existed at that time, he should have probably have tackled my dad,
Wow.
chopped his head off, and stuck it on the bar
That might be the
wall.
least Disney thing I have ever heard uttered in Disney World.
But here's the thing, and this is what I always try to impress with Anne, is that she doesn't want to go to Disney World.
don't wanna
and-
go. I'm not
because
interested.
she's been to theme parks not with me, not with my mom, because my mom and I had a great time that trip.
Yeah, because you were like 20 feet ahead of your sister
Yes,
and your dad.
because my father,
completely ignoring
my
the
father
situation.
and my sister got to distract each other with their animus, and I got to enjoy jumping because it was like spring break. It was like 70 degrees, but it was like an off-season spring break for our particular school here in Michigan. So there was nobody there at Disney World. Nobody was there. My mom and I got in the boat for the It's a Small World and rode it 3 times in a row without them telling
that
us.
explains so much
I
about your
know.
psyche. Why
It
would
does,
you do that to
right?
yourself?
I rode that ride once and I wanted to die.
I know. I want to gouge my eyes out.
I hated every moment of it.
I hear it in my dreams.
Jason Stamp.
Uh-huh.
Stampy had a great idea for It's a Small World to make it a much more enjoyable ride. When you get on the ride, they should give
Peyote?
you a bag full of baseballs.
Or just a bat. You can just
And you
cruise
can
by
throw
like
baseballs
Oh
at
my
the little figures and
God.
see how many you can knock down, and you accumulate points.
Please.
you could be, or just
That would
like
be
a bat. And you could do
great.
like the mailbox game.
Or like
Just
a
take the-
sniper
Whop!
rifle.
Oh, there
yes.
you go. Yes.
Oh
Absolutely.
man, that would be
They
great.
have Bring Your Own Sniper Rifle Day at It's a Small World.
That would be so great.
Pretty sure
I would
There you go.
enjoy
that
that.
would not pass muster.
It's
with
either
Disney
that or like
security.
have like weed day and just like just
Peyote
give me
day.
a great big honking joint
You just you're just
so I
tripping
can trip balls through it.
You're tripping balls on some high grade mescaline. Just out of your fucking bean.
That's literally the only way I would be able to enjoy that ride. I hated every moment I was on that ride. I like the teacups, but because my cousin who I went to, she had motion sickness, so we couldn't go really fast
Oh,
on
that's-
them. So
see,
it
that's when you go
completely
fast.
ruined the
Pathetic.
teacups.
No, that's when you go fast anyway,
know.
because
Oh, my
vomit
dad-
only makes things more enjoyable.
I was there
well,
my
it makes
aunt's
things more
coin, so
slippery.
I didn't dare do it.
My dad had motion sickness as well. So like for things that going around in circles. So when we went on the teacup ride, he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get sick. Oh, I'm gonna throw up." He sounds a bit like Yosemite Sam. So he was kind of like thematically wrong for Disney World.
Yeah.
Oh, concerted! I hate that dang rabbit. Oh, I hate that varmint. Oh, I'm gonna be sick. Oh, I'm gonna throw up. Best go. Oh,
It's creepy. It's like he's right here. It's creepy.
God, I hope not. He's been dead 2 years. Jesus, I hope he's not
Guess we're
here.
gonna need to get
And
that
yet,
exorcist.
and yet, oddly enough, he's listening to this podcast.
Oh God, burning in hell.
What
and-
do you say? What do you say to him right now if he's listening?
enjoy hell? No, because it wasn't I didn't have the easiest childhood, but after he passed away, and I kind of don't want to be like a bummer about it, but so it's definitely not. Please don't feel bad for him. He deserved it. But I had one dream. I had that one dream that you always have when you lose a family member, or you lose somebody that you've known your whole life. I can't even. The words died on my tongue. They shriveled up and turned black and puffed away in little wisps of smoke. "Quote unquote," a loved one. But this guy that I knew my entire life. After his passing, I had that dream that you always get, like just as your brain's like checking off the boxes. All right, well, got to get rid of this memory, got to get this memory. And I was living in our house, the house that my mom still lives in, and he was at the end of the hallway at the door of his bedroom, and he kept saying, "I've got to go. It's time to go. I've got to go." And he seemed very impatient, and I slow motion, just walked down the hallway, and I got right up to him, and I went, "You can't go anywhere. You're dead, you fucking idiot!" And I slammed the door in his face. And that was the only dream I have ever had about my dad. Hand to God, that's the only dream I've ever had about my dad.
And you know what? You know what? No therapy needed for you, man.
None
It's crystal
whatsoever. It
clear.
was totally
it's
fine.
crystal clear,
I was
man. It's
okay
yep,
with it.
Yep. You know where you stand. You know where it all is. Yeah.
Hey, do you guys want to take another question?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
From Yahoo Answers. Again, I don't think that the phone app, the actually puts these names down because everybody else has names. This guy doesn't. Is there a cheap material that I can buy to put down on a chair at the movies so I won't get lice?
Condoms. Just like lay them.
Just a full body.
Just,
Just,
yeah,
just
full
staple
body
them like a
condom.
blanket.
Staple condom. Yeah, make a condom quilt that you bring with you, and you lay it down on your chair.
I was thinking maybe like a horse
Are there-
blanket.
is there
but then
anything else?
bring the horse. No, that's it.
What if you
That's
just
it?
What if you
That's
just saran wrapped the lower half of your body before you went into
What
the
about the
theater?
upper half? Because you
Just-
know you could
just
get lice
stay
on your
at home,
back.
you
You get back
freaking-
lice.
I mean, if you're that worried about it, just stay at home, you f***ing weirdo.
Yeah.
That's your.
Right?
That's the easiest
I think
way
Netflix
to-
was created specifically for you.
Yeah.
Specifically for you.
Just
Well,
for you.
Netflix, takeout food.
We don't need to go out at all
Lubriderm.
anymore. We really don't.
No, we
There's
really
no
don't.
reason for us to leave our houses.
I mean, we probably should just to do some things. I mean, I know
Should,
that
but yeah, I don't know. I mean, some should.
Oh, yeah,
Others
some.
absolutely should not.
Yeah, this guy should not ever leave his house
No,
ever
no.
again. Because if I saw somebody sitting in a theater, if I saw somebody in front of me putting down some sort of fabric to sit down on
Right.
his movie seat
But
because
it's
he was
gotta be
worried about lice.
guys, it's got to be a cheap fabric. So, what are the cheapest fabrics? Is it? I mean,
the
velour
cheapest
is gonna-
fabric.
I mean, do you want it to be
canvas.
disposable so you just leave it behind when
Yeah,
you
I'm
leave?
Yeah.
thinking that would be the.
You know,
I mean, the
'cause you-
canvas.
otherwise you
Canvas-
take the lice with you on that.
Canvas
duck.
would be the
Yeah. Maybe like a
probably.
Canvas.
Like
yeah.
But
twill.
here's the thing: if
kind of a
you,
stitch
if
would
you
you use?
have lice or bed bugs, I mean, having some sort of fabric to put on it isn't going to stop anything.
So what you need to do is you
It's
need to go
plastic.
like you need to go like non-organic, like plastics, like a tarp. Now, I mean, I'm thinking
And once again, if I saw somebody in a movie theater putting
unrolling
a
a
tarp,
tarp.
unroll a tarp and put it on the seat, I would call the police.
But no
You
one
never
would.
know.
No one would want to sit next to you, right?
Right.
Like, you want a buffer zone in the theater. Just come and lay out a tarp.
Lay out a
I would
tarp.
call the police, and there's an absolute lunatic laying down tarps in this theater. Something's going on.
Something's going down, and he doesn't want to get his seat
Because
wet.
if it's plastic,
If
and
it's
he's
a
laying
plastic
down.
tarp.
Now I'm really.
I mean,
scared.
Unless
I'm
he
leaving
looks
the
like
theater.
Gallagher, there's no reason for that.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
yeah. If
And if he looks like Gallagher, that's also another problem.
if he puts on Huey Lewis in the news and starts dancing seductively, get out.
Yeah, Susudio starts playing. I'm looking around for Christian Bale, and I'm
Yeah.
freaking
Yeah,
out.
just get
Yeah.
out.
just get
just-
GTFO.
What were we just talking about when we were at the apartment about GTFO?
Scott, you're searching for
Oh.
segues where they don't exist.
no.
You're trying
Oh,
to
yeah,
backtrack.
no, that's
yeah.
that was the GTFO because we were
Oh.
watching.
We leave no
now.
breadcrumbs
Yeah, this
here.
this is gonna be kind of like
I'm
a.
completely oblivious to what's just happening. I'm so confused.
I was going to talk about something because I thought it was funny, and then I remembered. Oh no, it wasn't. It was a very serious conversation, and I'm really in no mood for that.
No, there can be no.
yeah,
serious
no
conversations
bummers.
here.
No bummers.
No.
Yeah, I mean
The
that's.
closest we got to a bummer is talking about Scott's dead dad.
Oh, and that's definitely once again. That's my dead dad is
His
not
dad
a
was
bummer.
douchebag.
No, apparently his living dad was much more of a bummer.
Yeah, his living dad was super f***ing bummer.
I mean, yeah, I could talk about that, or I could talk about something that's actually fun and happy. I mean, oh God, no, I'm not even going to go there.
Scott, I'm literally
No,
watching
you're
your
watching my-
posture change. Like it's like this is really free. You're becoming shorter
I'm
I'm watching you.
My spine is literally collapsing.
It
in
is.
on,
We
in on
need to
itself.
talk about
I'm-
anything other than this.
Anything else. So,
What'd you give him for Father's Day? No, okay, never mind.
What did I
Let's
get-
continue.
I gave him a tarp. I gave him a tarp and a
And a
book.
ticket to the movies for one.
And no, a ticket to Disney. I gave him a.
asked the question, your dad, did he ask that from beyond the grave?
Sorry, wait, what? Wait, I missed half of that because it sounds like you were having an asthma attack.
It was the question asker was your
Oh, wait, this is gonna
dad.
be
He asked you from beyond the grave.
Oh, yeah, my
about
bad.
the tarp.
What did, yeah, I gave him a tarp and a ticket to Disney World. And a book of English phrases. Oh, my God. Oh, I am so.
You're not sorry, don't lie.
I am very, very sorry. So is there anywhere else that we can go with this question? Because, I mean, I think that there are other things that you could do to prevent lice and bed bugs.
Well,
and
I mean,
things,
I
like at the
immediately think of
movies.
like spraying the chair with
Spraying
something.
you can spray that down with some sort of an insecticide. I'm thinking riding on a horse. ride in on a horse because
Yeah.
now you've got your own seat.
I mean, if you're gonna get wild with it, you might as well
You gotta
go all the way.
Go
Just
buck wild.
Ride in right with a horse.
Mm-hmm.
Just stand right in the middle of the main aisle with the horse.
Well, yeah, do that. Who's
I
going
mean,
to
they
say
have-
no? Who's
they
going to
have
tell you?
those-
It's your service animal.
They have those little like
The two-seaters?
no, they have those little fence things that you could just go ahead and hitch the horse right
No,
on.
you put the
yeah,
hitch
right
like
there,
a
yeah.
hitching post, and they're like, "Sir,
Yeah.
that's not a hitching post." I'm like, "You tell
Well,
my haunch.
Yeah,
you tell my horse
horse that.
Yeah, Clive
My
the
horse.
horse.
You tell my horse that. You say that right to his face.
But
See what happens.
maybe if you put on an elaborate costume, you could also possibly like go as a centaur, because who's going to tell you no? You're a
'Cause there's-
centaur.
Yeah, you're centaur.
Yeah, because now you're discriminating against centaurs.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly my point. And if nobody wants to be that guy to be like, "I'm sorry, sir, you are clearly just riding a horse," and just offend that person, and then they're going to take that to the ADA and what? Oh,
So I want to know
she's just-
on.
I don't know if you were like shaking your head because you didn't want me to keep going with the bit.
No.
She's not sending subtle messages here, Scott.
She's like,
That's
and
my
I'm like,
horse.
Q.
That's my
Pete.
horse.
Yeah, that's your horse. Your horse.
Get out
is
the
sending me
coconuts.
Oh my god. Oh god.
So now I'm wondering though, do
Uh-huh.
they make like, okay, service dogs? You know, they have the little shirts that say service
Yeah.
dog. You know,
Yeah.
the little vests,
Yeah.
the little service dog vests. Do they make those for horses?
They
Can you
should.
make
should.
any animal a service
Yeah,
animal?
This
yeah,
is
I've
not a
seen
joke.
some
This is not
motherfucking
a
people.
joke. There's an actual service horse that goes to like hospitals and like visits people, and it's a horse.
It's a horse,
It's
of course.
It's a horse
Wow.
that visits hospitals.
Now,
it's a
okay,
service horse,
so
and I'm
if-
not joking.
okay,
about that.
so if
That's
you can have
100% real.
If you can have service horses, all right. Now, okay, where does it stop? So could I have like a service snake?
Yeah.
That I
Yeah,
take
why
with me?
not?
Yeah,
It's-
why not?
It's my
Therapy snake.
it's my therapy snake.
Oh
Goes
no,
with
there
me around.
there are therapy snakes. It's not even a goof.
But
to
can
say
you go
that,
to Walmart? Can I bring this into Walmart with me?
I wouldn't
Try it.
recommend it.
A
You
service
could try.
python, a boa constrictor,
Just
Sure,
put,
why
just
not?
put a little service thing
a
on
little
the
service
focus.
vest on it. Who's gonna say?
I
who's
want
gonna
to
say
film
boo?
that for like that sounds like something like you
I think
see
we
in
need to do that. Can we bring it
Jackass.
into Disney World? That's
Well,
the big
but the
question.
thing is that
Doubtful.
you know the okay, and I know this, and I don't know why I know this, but there are therapeutic snakes that like big pythons because of their strong, powerful body muscles can help with muscular massage therapy. And you just put the snake on the patient, and it massages.
And they just hug 'em.
Just hug them.
Okay, now how do you train this boa constrictor
Oh,
to
you
not
don't-
hug
you don't
too
train.
tightly? What?
You don't. I mean, it's not like a 25-foot African
I mean,
python.
a boa constrictor could crush somebody, right?
Yeah. I don't think
would
that they're
think so.
boa constrictors. I think that they're other kinds of snakes. We have a friend who's a snake handler. Her name is Helen, and remember that she brought.
Yeah.
We were doing some makeup for a photo shoot with a model, and she brought one of her. It was a beautiful like yellow
Yeah,
python
it
of
was
some
a
kind. It was
banana.
gorgeous, a banana
Banana-colored
colored.
python.
It's wonderful animal.
This went into a
Yeah,
weird
I mean,
direction.
it is an oddball sort of thing to talk about. But
I don't know
no,
if I
I
don't
don't.
believe him about the therapy snakes, but it's a real good thing.
Yeah,
It's a
it
real
is.
good goof if it isn't.
I'm
It is not a
wondering.
goof. It is not a goof. I think that it's okay for it's okay for people to have therapy. Animals, it's not okay for people to abuse it. And it's so hard because you don't want to be that person who asks that question. Oh, is this your therapy animal, with the sarcastic air quotes that you say
Yes,
with your
this
words?
is my therapy horse, and yes, I do need to ride it into this theater.
This is my therapy armadillo. Why are you asking?
Why? This is my therapy elephant. Don't question me.
I once popped into the middle of an NPR, one of those moth radio hour, like those shows where the people tell stories. At least I thought that's what it was. And as I was listening to it, it was about this guy whose brother had some mental handicaps, and he would drown this armadillo, and then the armadillo would like not be dead. It would be, he would pull it out of the water, And it became like this sort of like strange kind of therapy. And as I'm listening to it, I'm just going, "Oh my God, what is this?"
What
and
the-
it's like, and then his kid brother passed away, and he inherited the armadillo, and he didn't want to get rid of the armadillo, and the armadillo stank. And then one night he decided that he was sick of the armadillo, like stinking up his house and stinking up his life and stinking up his marriage, and he drowned the armadillo. And then the armadillo came back to life, and he's like, "Well, and I guess that was it." And it turns out it was a book. It was an excerpt from a short story, and I was so fueled. I had the furnace of rage inside me because I drivewayed that. I sat there for 20 minutes while this stupid story wrapped up, and it was fiction the whole time. I was so mad. I'm like, God damn you, NPR. You don't deserve the money that I'm not sending you.
And now what I'm curious about is how much cum came out of you.
200 milliliters.
See?
What'd I do?
I think we just found our answer. It's
Drowning-
rage.
drowning-
It's rage. Rage makes it come.
and making the
It makes it
armadillo.
rain.
Yeah.
Oh my
that-
God.
Well, I mean, once it drips off the car ceiling. Oh, God damn it. How much of this am I going to have to edit? How much of am I
This is
have
going to
to
be
cut?
about a 3.5 minute long episode, and I'm really excited to hear it.
Me too. I'm really excited to hear the great content we just did. All that 3 minutes that we just did.
Okay, so
It was about coming horses.
oh no.
What, Scott? No.
Oh no!
Do you
I hear it. I hear it.
No, it's the bit that never works, and I am commanded by the
Oh, you're
music.
compelled.
I'm compelled by the music.
compelled
We're
by the
gonna have
Batman.
to build another Batman.
No, not another Batman.
You're gonna love this one. This is Iron Hat Ferris.
Iron Hat Ferris.
Iron Hat Ferris. So you've got Enigma, you've got Tempest Fugit, the Clock King, and now you have Iron Hat Ferris. Clever baby names in Gotham equals a knob end of a villain. Iron Hat Ferris, his only thing is he had an iron head.
No, Iron Hat. Well,
He had an iron, well, I mean, it was clamped over his face and committed crimes by just fucking headbutting people. That was all he did. And every time that he went up against Batman and Robin in the one issue that he's in, Robin leapt into the fray by attempting to punch his face. That was his only response to
You see some dude with an iron head, and your only response is, "I'm gonna punch that."
I am going to
a
sock.
small willowy child. I'm gonna punch that. Is that iron head?
That's what is that?
What
Gene
is that?
brought up a picture
And how did you
of
find
this
that so fast? Gene,
That-
idiot.
I
he's
know.
He's been waiting
Gene
to pull
was
that
Johnny
out.
on the spot
Yep.
with that one.
Look at
oh
that.
my
He's
God!
even got a close up, Gene. He's a
Oh,
closeted
Gene.
What kind
Iron
of
Hat
Mayan
Ferris
curse is
fan.
that?
So let's try to describe Iron Hat Ferris. It is a green man in the iron mask, but with like
Vulcan ears.
with like he looks like somebody tried to spot weld Spock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yet he's clutching his head, almost like doing it gives him a headache.
Well, yeah, that's because you can't see that, but they are pounding his head with a hammer.
he's
Yeah.
No, that's
He's a
just
giant?
the cover. That's just the splash
just the
page.
cover. Oh,
That's
okay,
just
okay.
that's just the
It
splash
would be
page.
so much more
He was a-
interesting if he was actually like 30 feet tall.
He is a normal sized guy.
Now that I know he's a normal man, it makes it worse.
And this Pillock had nothing else going for him except that he couldn't be punched in the face. And
So we
then-
need to come up with a backstory for this guy?
No, I mean, if we want to,
Is
all
that-
right, let's
because
let's build the
I've got
script.
one.
Let's
I've got
build
one.
the script.
Here it is.
Okay.
Okay. So
Come,
we're
let's bake this cake,
we're
Dreamweavers.
going back in time now. We're going back to when Iron Mad Genius Head Ferris dude,
Iron Hat Ferris.
Iron Hat Ferris dude
Is it iron head or iron hat?
Iron Hat.
is a little Iron
Just
Hat.
a
He's
wee
little
tyke.
wee tyke.
It's a little baby
all right?
iron hat.
They took him to. I'm going to be.
He's a little
this,
teeny
This is going to be
bullet
right
head.
on the nose here. All right?
Okay.
It's going to be which comics have never done.
Oh yeah,
I'm going to be right on the nose here.
Mm.
They took him one day. This is going back to Disney World a little bit. They took him to an amusement park.
Okay.
And there was a Ferris wheel.
I'm listening. This is gonna be good,
This
guys.
was a Ferris wheel, and
Oh.
all he wanted to do was ride the Ferris wheel. But everyone told him he was too short You're just too. You're below. If you're shorter than this line, you can't ride the Ferris wheel.
You got me.
And his parents wouldn't let him. So one moment his parents are looking in another direction. They're looking over at the popcorn. They're gonna go get some popcorn, and he runs. He makes a beeline for the Ferris wheel, and he ducks under the stanchions, and he gets there. And just as the Ferris wheel is still turning, and one of the things comes down, and it bonks him in the head, hits him in the head, and it knocks him out.
Oh no! And so he needs the iron hat.
He needs the iron hat because all he can think about is this Ferris wheel thing and how passionate he was about it, and it was the thing he was most passionate about that knocked him in the head. He's consumed.
Oh, I was thinking that it was a brain injury, and that he had to wear it as a protective measure against his soft, awful brain.
Oh wait, Gene's showing us another helpful picture. What is it? What does it say?
Oh, see this? It's it's an ancient
made
mask
to wear
of
them as a badge of
shame.
dishonor.
Whoa!
He's been dishonored. That's torture.
Now,
man.
do you want to know how this guy died? Because it's the 1940s,
If
and
he gets punched in the head, I'm gonna be
hell
so
no.
mad.
Oh no!
Did it have to do with Nazis?
No. It's the 1940s, and life was cheap. He ran out into a bog and got struck by lightning.
Oh,
That's how this pillock met his untimely end.
wow.
This comb-over asshole got
So in
struck
a,
by
are they
so,
all
lightning.
so basically in
in
a
these early
crossover
ones?
comic, Thor got him. Is what you're saying?
I'm sure that there are some lightning throwers in the DC universe.
There must be.
There must be.
Yeah.
I know very little about them because all they really did was just take it was like the Roman versus the Greek gods. They just reskinned them with a new name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we have our wee bullet head, and he's getting older, and maybe life inside of the iron mask is driving him slowly insane. This mask of dishonor.
Consumed as he is by thoughts of Ferris wheels and how much he just really loves them, and how
So what's his crime,
all
boys?
of his
What's
all
his
of
crime?
his love has turned to hate.
All of it. So
Because everything comes full circle, like a
Ferris wheel.
Ferris
Like,
wheel.
but he's like the Dalek in that he's trapped inside of his iron prison, and it's driving him insane. It's driving him completely mad. Maybe his parents decided that they were going to put a little microchip inside of there to play soothing music, but it got switched to a death metal station or something. Death metal, get it? Death metal.
Death metal.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So now he's
I was
on.
going to suggest something like Barbie Girl, because think about hearing Barbie Girl for just like
That's nothing but Barbie Girl.
nothing but Barbie Girl.
you can't turn it
24/7.
Or the
off.
theme from It's a Small World.
Well, yeah, that too.
Or it's a theme from Small Wonder.
Oh.
She's a small wonder.
Let's not mention that, because that's for another episode. Because I want. Those
that's
are some
another thing.
things I'm
Oh, we
still
didn't-
mad about.
Oh, we did it. We're doing a new bit. Things that I'm still
Oh.
mad about.
And I think
And
we
it's
need to
great.
do moments of therapy for Anne as a
That's
segment.
what things I'm still mad about. That's what that segment
You gotta
is.
purge it, because otherwise it all builds up and then you just kill Scott in the middle of the night.
Come on back in 2 weeks' time, and we will do that episode. We will definitely do that episode.
intrigued.
Things that Ann is mad about is apparently a small wonder.
I hate that show.
I'm still mad that Alf
Was
got
a jerk?
canceled. No, I'm still mad that Alf got canceled.
I'm not.
On the eve of him being finally kidnapped by the government agents to
Oh,
be
really?
taken to be. That
You
was the
wanted
last
an end
episode.
to that story. I didn't want an end. I didn't care.
Actually, more
I
than
didn't.
that.
I didn't care so much. I never watched Elf.
Okay, I was
never
not.
watched
It's for the best.
It's for the best.
You
Okay.
did a
I-
good thing
I
for
didn't
your
miss-
brain.
I did- yeah.
You didn't
Yeah,
miss
I
anything.
never. I didn't watch it. I'm actually that was an attempt at a bit, but I'll tell you the one that I am still super mad about. If we really want to go into this subject, I'm still mad that the kids in the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon never got home.
Oh yeah, we don't know what happened to them.
We
to this
don't
day,
know-
they're still stuck in Dungeons and Dragons land.
They
They
didn't.
canceled it before
They
it
canceled
ever
it before
resolved.
they ever resolved. They got back once, and then Tiamat also got through into the real human world. So they had to draw Tiamat back into the Dungeons and
So they're all
Dragons
trapped
world.
in there.
So they're trapped.
So it's
in
like
there
it's like the
forever.
one kid from Jumanji
Or
that just got trapped
get
in the
trapped in
game.
there, or
Except the one kid from Jumanji actually had some kind of closure in the movie. The kids from Dungeons and Dragons, they're still there.
Got home
To this
And,
day.
even if they should have at some point slaughtered and devoured the unicorn that was traveling with them, because it was the Slimer of the group.
Yeah, they should have killed.
They should have-
him and that stupid little barbarian. They should have killed and eaten both.
Well,
of
which
them.
one? Which is the one that was the whiner? Which was the one that was the
Oh,
wine
I
child?
think that was the
The
knight.
thief or
No,
the-
it wasn't the thief.
No, the knight was the. Okay, never mind. It
No,
doesn't
the
matter.
ranger.
This is the stupidest conversation
The
we've
ranger
ever
was the
had.
blonde. No, the ranger was the blonde one. It was
Okay,
the
yep.
knight. It was
Okay.
the knight.
And then there was the obligatory the girl. And I
There were
remember
two
a
girls.
goddamn thing
There
about
were
them.
two girls.
Which
What
one?
the one girl was a rogue,
Uh-huh.
and the other was an acrobat.
You know more about the show than I do.
Because I love that show.
I watched Jason the Wheel
She's
Warriors.
actually like grinning. She's
She's
like,
yeah, this is
she's
this is
got,
actually
she's
kind of
gonna
making
go
her
home and she's
happy.
gonna like pull some old VHS tapes off the old shelf.
Oh,
And the thing
God, yeah.
that was really creepy about the girl that was the acrobat is
Uh-huh.
that she was the only black character in the show, and her costume was questionable at best.
Okay, we've gotten way off track. What is
Wait, there's a
Iron
track?
Hat Ferris's crime? No, we haven't built. We haven't even gotten to the Batman.
This whole
part.
show is ADHD culture. What are you talking about? You act as if we have
I
any
love that.
kind of plan.
I love that every moment of the show we are answering the question of why don't we have
Why
our own
don't
show?
we have our own show?
We're
Right?
answering it with
Because it'd be
every
this
word
show.
we utter.
Because it's this pack of
because
idiots.
it's anarchy. This is why we don't have one.
Why don't we continue
Why
to
every
not
s-
have our own show?
Why every sensible person saw the two of us as like, no, they
No.
shouldn't have their own show. Nobody should listen to these two.
Yeah, I came to the studio with this great podcast idea, and they just no. No.
No, we don't think so.
Like ghosts
And
came
yet-
back from the afterlife to go. No.
And yet here we are.
And yet here we are.
Just goes
So-
to show that anybody can have a podcast.
Exactly. Any idiot can have a podcast if you put a microphone.
See,
and somebody
kids,
record it
if
in
we
front
can
of
do it,
You-
so can you.
Exactly.
We are the most ill-prepared pack of knob ends that this world has ever seen, and we have it. We've got a podcast. We have 15 subscribers on YouTube. We're
Yes.
doing pretty fucking good for ourselves.
Of course, 3 of them are right here talking. Right
Yes.
now,
That's it.
so.
Wait, you are actually subscribed?
Actually, I'm not.
You motherfucker! You are we were making this
Piece
joke
of
before
shit.
before the microphones were on that you weren't even a subscriber.
I'm not.
You're not.
Because I
Absolute
hate the
piece
sound of my
shit.
voice.
My
Oh.
sister isn't. I don't think she's subscribed. Although I've told her all about
It's the old
it.
I would never
Okay,
be. I would never be a
So,
member of a
I
club
looked up
that
a
would
picture
have
of the
me.
acrobat. You can kind of see
Oh
it there. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. That
She's the
outfit
black
is
kid.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah,
questionable.
everyone else has a lot. The goat
Everyone
has
else
more
has
clothes on
clothing.
than she does.
Yeah. Her outfit is questionable.
Her outfit
and
is
incidentally,
questionable.
it was the Cavalier. Son of Night. I was wrong. It was the Cavalier.
All right. Well, you'll just have to do some Hail Marys when you get home.
Yep.
You'll have
His
to pray
name
the
was
rosary.
Eric, FYI, if you wanted to know. Eric the Cavalier.
Eric the Cavalier.
And it wasn't a goat, it was a unicorn. It was a baby unicorn named Uni because they ran out of fucking ideas after they named the Cavalier Eric.
That's actually brilliance. That's brilliance right there. Uni.
It's either a unicorn or
unicorn.
a eunuch, either one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It works both ways.
It works. It works. God, what time is it? It is 7:50. We burned through this hour.
Wow.
We really did.
Where has the time gone, and how do I get it back?
And
There's
who do
no
I need
giving
to
that
sue? So we didn't build anything close to a better Batman. So this is, I think, a third failed effort. So okay, what do we? All right, what will the title of this epic piece be? What is the title? We came up with Batman Deathless. We came up. What was the King of Cats? What was our name for that
I
one?
don't remember.
Did we have a name? Did we come up with a title for that one?
Meowcats knows best.
Thanks everybody for listening. See you next
Wow.
time. Bye bye.
Yeah, I'm just gonna strip off all of my clothes and walk out into the snow, fall down into a ditch, and die.
A name for this one, I
Because we haven't even come up with what's his caper.
Well, I
What's
would
his
think, I
caper?
think that he would
Come on, we got to beat Nolan
He-
on this once, at least once.
at least once. I think that because of his obsession with Ferris wheels and theme parks in general, I think it would be like attacks on theme parks.
A what?
Attacks on theme parks, like Attack on Titan,
To-
except with theme parks.
like out of anger or like because he wants to steal the Ferris wheels.
Yeah.
Oh,
He wants to steal all the
Okay, so
Ferris
that's his
wheels.
caper. He's gonna steal the Ferris wheel.
He's going to steal all the Ferris wheels and then make one amusement park that is all Ferris wheels.
Wait,
No, he's gonna make one giant Ferris
brain
wheel.
A
flash,
giant Ferris wheel.
brain flash, brain
Oh,
flash.
no. I don't like when Scott has a brain
So
flash.
the circus where he starts his crime caper happens to be employing the Flying Graysons. The Flying Graysons.
Oh,
And
you tie it all in.
and tie it all
Scott.
in.
Oh.
And so he in this dark, gritty Nolan-verse version.
Oh yeah,
of
this
the
is
back-
dark and
oh,
gritty,
this is
man.
dark
It's a
and
Ferris
gritty.
wheel guy.
It's a
Yeah.
Ferris wheel guy, and he pulls the pin that sends the Ferris wheel
Wheel
spinning, rolling
that
down.
kills the rest of the
Flying
Graysons.
And Bruce Wayne is there, and he sees the mangled remains of the Flying Graysons and adopts the surviving.
I like it.
Oh, this is so good.
Again, it's come full circle.
circle.
Like a
I think we
Ferris
built.
wheel.
I think we built a better Batman.
I
Built
think
a
we
better
built a
Batman.
And you know what?
Batman.
Title
you, Nolan.
Batman full circle.
Full circle.
Boom! Batman full circle. Yep, Batman full circle.
Okay,
Oh,
I
I can't
reach you. I am
High fives.
short and I lack.
Oh, wait, here we go. Here we go.
muscle-
Here we go. Here we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's great radio. That is great podcasting, everybody. We did a visual gag.
We did.
That is phenomenal. I describe it for
Wait,
you.
wait, wait. He's gonna.
There we go. Oh, the only thing less exciting than this actually happening is having somebody take a photograph of it happening while on the radio.
While on a podcast.
On the podcast.
Spoken word humor really is just brought alive by us high-fiving. Because all you just hear is just skin slapping against
Yeah,
each
you
other.
just hear three idiots skin slapping. It could be anything.
Which might
could
also
be-
be an answer to the amount of... Never mind.
To the-
I'm not going to go back to,
to
that
the
one
amount
because
of
you already have to
to
edit
the amount
too much
to
out of us.
emitted.
Yes.
It's 200 minutes. That's a love and spoonful.
Oh.
Which is
my
a joke
soul
that we've
just
already
escaped
made.
my body.
Just a spoonful of Steven helps
Oh
the...
God. Me and Jane are on another dimension right now because we can't be on this plane of existence at the moment. We just can't.
You have ripped a veil on the fabric of reality and have decided to
Yep.
seek a different dimension in which
I'm
to
just
live.
existing on another plane of existence right now. I just can't with this.
Can I
this
join you there?
universe.
Because the plane
You
I'm
are-
in right
you-
now is kind of creeping
Rip
me
your
out.
own hole in dimensions, Todd.
You are Tillinghast. You have flipped on the machine. You have decided to peer through the veil of realities and see what's staring back at
So
you.
Scott, there's still
Yes.
an opportunity to save this train wreck.
Oh God, no!
I
isn't.
think if we can end,
There's no going
if we
back
can
on this.
end,
It's
why,
done.
everyone, including our sound guy, is shaking their heads right now. This is where's the faith? Where's the faith here?
Well, I think it rode
can
off.
we just-
It rode off on our
Uni?
on our disability horse.
It rolled off on
rolled
uni.
off on our therapy horse that we take to the movies.
I mean, if we end strong, Scott.
Yes,
If we
absolutely.
just, all we have to do is end strong.
All we have to do is end strong, and I will end as strong as I can, and that is with one final question from.
Make it a good one. It's a good
oh,
one.
okay. I have a ton of them to choose from, and I am going to pick. This is all going to get cut.
Yeah,
Oh no,
well,
it's
this
not.
is just-
We're paying him under the table to not
this
edit
is
any of
just
this.
death.
Would the earlier settlers watch movies or clear the land and dig wells, etc.? They
Yeah.
stayed pretty busy, and I think they would be offended by most movies these days. I think they would be appalled. Plowing, planting and harvesting, hunting, and fished to put food in the smokehouse, etc. Their big event was on Sundays attending the church. Were they so bad? Would you guys? Do you think the early settlers watched a lot of movies? Do you think the good and genial salt of the earth folk?
I think they did. Of course, they had to watch them as giant flip books.
Yeah.
You know, they had like a giant thing of
When they weren't busy burning witches and stuff.
right.
Well, yeah. Wow. Oh,
Killing Indians and
yeah. My preferred nomenclature for my own people is Native Americans.
Oh, I'm
Thank you
sorry.
very much.
I'm sorry. That was a faux pas. Yeah.
That was. You should be ashamed. I bow your head and ask us for forgiveness.
I am going to bow my head and ask for forgiveness. I suppose.
For those of you who are
I'm not
not
bowing my
here
head.
in the studio, she did none of those
Oh
fucking
my
things.
God.
Okay, so which part of ending strong was
Yeah.
not clear here?
Oh my God. I really should have ended with the emissions. I really should.
Yeah,
have
you should have
with that.
ended. Jesus over there almost did a spit take when Todd said that. He almost did a spit take.
So if nothing else, we have one listener that feels we're doing all right, and he's in the room with us. So there
And
we
he
go.
is very quietly trying to click the delete button.
He's like, oh,
Okay.
you wanted me to roll on this, guys?
Oh Lord. Okay, let's do another one then. How can I smuggle an entire large pizza into a movie theater?
Oh.
My roommate and I would prefer a hot pizza. We are considering using a wheelchair, but we are open to whatever ideas anyone can come up with.
No, do it in your condom quilt.
I honestly don't care how abstract or cray it is, smiley face.
Condom quilt. Just
Condom
put it in your
quilt.
condom quilt.
Just stick it in a condom quilt. I mean, you have to make sure that you've got like 2 layers with a vacuum seal in between them,
Keep
so
the-
that to
you
keep
need
it
that
keep it
warmth.
hot.
To keep that warmth in there.
My other suggestion would be to get like plastic bags and just put the pizza in the plastic bags and then just stick it underneath your shirt.
Or
I mean that's the practical,
why
actually
don't-
real world solution.
Why don't you deconstruct the pizza into its component parts? You have like a crust that you can wear as a hat, and then all the toppings.
And then you have pepperoni pockets.
You have pepperoni pockets, and you're wearing 2 wheels of mozzarella cheese for glasses, and then you've made a margarita pizza.
I don't think you even have to deconstruct it. I think you could put the whole thing in a hat. You wear a sombrero.
Oh yeah,
to
there
the
you go.
movies.
Oh, there you go. I mean,
And
who's
it's
going to say
part of my
boo?
culture. I'm wearing it.
Yeah.
You can't tell me to take this off. It's part of my culture.
It's part of
and
my
you
culture,
got your pizza
and
there.
it's part of my culture that it also smells like marinara.
Right, but pay no attention to the pizza under the hat. You know?
But the brim could be like pull off monkey bread that you could dip.
There you go.
That you have a purse full of
And then you
garlic
could
butter.
have like dipping sauce. Like in
Oh,
the
dipping
top
sauce
of it.
into the top, into the just
versatile.
like a Super Bowl Saturday.
I'm
or
trying to
Sunday.
figure out how to make this thing because I think we could sell
A
this.
pizza sombrero.
Pizza sombrero.
That sounds like a fantastic
I love
plan.
this.
Yeah.
I
See,
love
we
it.
ended strong with
We
a
ended-
pizza sombrero.
I doubt that was
That
as
wasn't a
strong
strong
as
ending.
it was
No, it
not.
wasn't. That
God,
kinda sucks.
okay.
What the heck,
What the
man?
hell? I am batting.
You know, if
0
we
for
make
0.
this another hour long, do you think we could end strong?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
God, no. I think we're gonna. I'm running out of steam as we speak.
We're just dying on the vine right now.
You're looking for another one? How are you going to beat pizza
Yeah,
sombrero?
how are you going to beat pizza sombrero, Scott? There's no way.
The bar has been set really high now for an ending.
Okay.
Okay, do it.
A Christmas Carol.
Oh no.
They snorted cocaine in the movie? Question mark.
What?
What version of Christmas Carol are they watching?
Is it the Muppets Christmas Carol? What the heck? What? When did they snort cocaine?
Like, I would say Scrooge, but I mean, that isn't really technically a Christmas Carol.
A few hours ago, I found myself in the cinema watching the new A Christmas Carol movie. Now I'm ready to report something I noticed. While watching it, I noticed it was a good animated movie, but rather boring. But the main thing that really amazed me is the fat characters in the movie snorted cocaina with their little boxes. In the scene, you can see a couple of fat characters bring out a little metal can. When they opened the little can, they started sniffing and snorting something really fast. And the movie is Walt Disney. LOL. If they smoked pot, then it would be okay.
What Christmas Carol is this? Is
What
this
Christmas
was
Carol
This
are
Jim
they-
Carrey? Did Jim Carrey do a Christmas
Jim
Carol?
Carrey
Jim
did, but
Carrey
it-
did
but it-
do a Christmas Carol, and
but
my
that
brother
was-
has
that
threatened to
wasn't
make us
Disney,
watch
though,
it.
But that was Robert Zemeckis. That had
Yeah,
nothing to
that
do with
wasn't
Disney.
Disney.
I mean, I know the answer to this, and it's snuff, and this kid's a f***ing knob
Tool.
end.
Right.
It's
I like that
snuff.
I like that he's okay. That if they smoked joints, he would have been.
It would have been totally
okay.
cool, but not the
that's
cocaine.
Not the
Come
Not the
cocaine.
cocaine. That's where the line's
line
drawn?
has to. Yeah, that's the line in the sand for this person.
Yep. I'm pretty sure that they sell pot in the Magic Kingdom, but not cocaine.
No, what?
Right? I know, right?
Really? They got. There's another reason for you to go back to Disney.
It's a world of laughter, a world of tears.
It's a world of bleeding out of your eyes. It's a world of curling up into the fetal position and shitting yourself to death.
Guy, I think we just beat sombrero pizza. No, we didn't. I still like sombrero
No,
pizza.
I like
love
sombrero
sombrero pizza
Sombrero
better.
pizza is way better.
Now I'm hungry. Let's get pizza.
with a pull off monkey bread crust.
Yes.
And a purse full of garlic butter for
And
dipping.
pepperoni pockets.
Pepperoni pie.
You can't forget the pepperoni pockets. Just pockets just full to the brim with pepperoni.
And it's got to be cooked pepperoni.
Oh yeah,
Now,
it's
you don't want to eat cold
it's
pepperoni
like
on your pepperoni.
greasy cooked curled pepperoni just in your pockets.
I've heard
You'll
the
never be
phrase
able to
that-
salvage that coat ever again.
But wait, guys, this was only going to work if you take the whole thing while riding on your therapy horse, because then You're too tall for them to search your sombrero
There you go.
for mozzarella. Oh, boom.
Boom. We got it.
Dropped it. We went full circle.
Yep.
Like Batman. Thank you very
With
much
that-
for enduring this episode of Why Don't We Have Our Own
This has
Show.
been a tourist trial, and I'm so sorry.
This has been a marathon. We apologize. We are full of shame.
Those of you that made it to the end of this episode, what the
What is
are
your,
you thinking?
What-
Why, do you really have no life?
what is
at
your
all?
malfunction?
Why?
I have been
Don't
your,
say that. Please keep watching our show.
Please
We
keep,
love people with no lives.
Please keep listening to this podcast. We
Please
love
send
it.
us some questions.
Please send us. Oh, we have a Patreon account. I probably should have mentioned that at the top of the show when everybody was still listening. It's patreon.com/WDWHOOS. You can become a monthly patron for $5, $7, $10, $2. $15, whatever it is that you can afford, and that helps us produce content every 2 weeks. Although again, my upload schedule is not really kept up with our recording pace.
We even accept pizza.
We accept pizza sombreros at therapy horses
And only those. Send us therapy horses, you fools.
and pizza sombreros. I have been your host, Scott. I'm still managing my diabetes.
And I have been your Alta host, Anne Spiring Bogwitch, not managing her ADHD at all.
I have been a lot funnier than this in other days.
Oh, is this your last time with us?
I don't know how I could ever top this. I really don't.
Possibly with marinara.
No, thank you for having me. This was actually a lot of fun.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. That's Todd. Hey, hype yourself. Give yourself a shout out. What are you doing right now?
I am doing absolutely nothing. I have no life. I have nothing going on in my life. No, I'm prepping to do some acting at Circle Theater coming up this summer. Doing a
are you
farce.
really sure you want to name drop the theater that hired you to do a job after what you just said on this show?
Probably not. I'll never work for them again. Of course, they don't pay me. So there you go. Yeah, but I'm very excited to do that.
Very excited. Thank you guys so much.
How you doing, Gene? You all right over there? You
How you doing,
okay?
Gene?